Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Enrique and this is Enzyme Art TV. Today, we're gonna go over how to draw a samurai. Samurais were not your typical soldiers. They were feudal Japan's warrior aristocracy. They followed a strict code that we know as Bushido, way of the warrior. Bushido meant different things according to different literary sources over time, but the most important thing was that you have a good death. These upper-class swordsmen are easily recognizable in the media from their unique armor. So much of the armor's artistic appeal comes from its complexity. But this overload in detail also means there's a ton of information I could cram into your brain about the many parts of the outfit. Since I don't think overloading you with certain information is going to help your drawing overall, I'm just going to go over the most important things about drawing a samurai. I figure, since we're drawing samurais today, why not go over our own strict code of honor? I call it Sketchido. The first principle of Sketchido is balance.
A samurai must balance his body and his mind, and an artist must balance the flair of the warrior's armor as it is plated over his anatomy.
What is flair? To answer that, let's compare the samurai armor to the medieval armor of Western Europe. European armor consisted of chainmail and a big solid plate, which often bulked out the chest and had some sort of crested helmet piece. Samurai armor gives the appearance of more plates and more layers, with a distinctive helmet shape that flares out over the neck for added protection. So, while a medieval knight might look like C-3PO, a samurai resembles a pill bug in the way that the armored plates are layered. Common points of flair on a samurai are the neck, as I mentioned, the shoulders, and the thighs or protective skirt.
If your proportional outline does not flare with honor, burn it with fire.
Go on. Okay, hold on. Go on. One moment. So take time. The second principle of Sketchido is protection.
The way in which we symbolize protection in our art is by drawing a protective samurai helmet. Samurai helmets have an overall bell shape. They come in different styles but commonly share 5 principal parts. So let's go over some Japanese helmet terms that you'll forget as soon as you hear them.
First, there's the hachi, which is the dome part that covers the scalp. The mabizashi is the brim at the top of the helmet. These wing-like projections that protect the face are fukigeshi, and the neck guard is called shikoro. Finally, facial armor is called mempo. Even if you don't remember the names of these parts, knowing their function will help you remember the basic shape needed to serve their purpose. Like much of the other armor, the samurai helmet is secured by a cord, and the crests on the helmet can be carved to represent family, animals, mythical entities, or other symbols. Horns are also very common. The mask that goes over the face can vary. Some cover the whole face, some cover from nose down, some cover only below the nose to the chin, and others cover the forehead to the cheeks. Continuing with our Sketchido principle of protection, let's talk more about body armor. The suit was designed with a mixture of iron, brass, and leather, like the helmet. There's the do chest plate, kazazuri, which hangs like a leotard to protect the midsection, the large rectangular shoulder plate, or sode, the armored sleeves, or kote, the thigh-guarding haidate, the shin-guarding sunite, the sashimone, which are banners for identification during battle, hakama pants underneath the armor, short leather kagutsu shoes, and sandals. Feel free to memorize the names of all of these and use them in conversation with your friends to make them think you're well educated in Japanese history. Equally as important as armor, a samurai's 2 swords were always worn together, one long sword and one short. The katana and wakizashi swords were seen as part of the samurai's soul, much the way the pencil and paper are part of an artist's soul under the teachings of Sketchido. Sometimes samurai carried bows as well. Huge bows that were from 7 to 10 feet long. Imagine the good shape these guys had to be in to be able to use a weapon like that. Once you feel confident about the basic tools and accessories for samurai, think about what kind of weapons and armor he might have.
If your drawing's planned outfit is not honorable, cast it to the wave of seas.
We now come to the third and fourth principles of Sketch-Ito: patience of mind and swiftness of hand.
I need swiftness of hand to complete a drawing, but I need patience to start and plan one.
To first start drawing my samurai, I'm going to think of the overarching gesture of the pose. The guy is going to be poised and ready for battle. Once I've planned a pose, I can start blocking out the simple shapes. Luckily, the armor breaks the samurai into a lot of simple shapes already, so this shouldn't be too hard. One thing to be careful of is making his head too big. Remember, the human body is underneath all this armor supporting the outfit. I'm keeping the armor somewhat generic as I start to add in the details like the crevices and the brim of the hat. Once those are done, you can move on to the second layer of detail, which consists of things like small bumps on the helmet. After the whole general layout is where I want it, I can choose to embellish or exaggerate the final layer of design, which will make my samurai unique. You can draw inspiration from basically anything with this.
If your finished drawing fills you with dishonor, feed it to the dragon.
Damn. But before you do that, look hard at the drawing and try to assess the things about it that you don't really like. And ask yourself why. You should do this every time you're unhappy about your finished product, so that your next attempt will have the things in mind that you need to work on.
Samurais had to practice their sword strokes hundreds of times to achieve their advanced skill level, and we artists have to practice our own strokes to become more consistent and steady.
So, with samurai still appearing in movies and video games, it shouldn't be too hard to find inspiration. So keep fighting, stay honorable, and most importantly, stay creative.